Good morning and welcome to Fireside. How how is this 15 minutes of silence different than before?
For me, there was a power this morning with everybody that is here coming in. And I could imagine or feel the edges of their energy fields. And so there was this palpable connection that I felt. And it was a little bit different this morning. There seemed to be more intention as each person came in. That's how I made it up.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't hear all what Jesse said because I got interrupted by my daughter.
Jesse asked how the 15 minutes of silence had felt for everybody.
Mm. Yeah, it was silence at my place, yeah, because my daughter was speaking and asking, and so not totally silence here.
And
but I come with the intention of doing the inner work.
Mm.
To witness, because yeah, I'm practicing listening, or I try to do my best to. Yes, I will be listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, the silence was just greatly appreciated because just so much noise in the world and in my head. So to have some quiet just to ponder and sit with it, is I don't know, almost therapeutic. Like it's very calming, I find, and I really appreciate it, especially being able to practice this with others.
Mm.
It's like for me, it's like a deeper form of connection.
Well, my son just got home, so the silence wasn't silent.
How did the connection feel, huh, with your son?
Oh, it's like always. Feels like a lot of chatter.
Chatter is good. There's a reaching out and a receiving.
Um, Receiving was the initiation of my breakthrough 2 days ago.
Mm.
Are you still experiencing that breakthrough, Jesse? Just curious.
The processing finally released last night.
Oh, good.
But it was big. Yeah.
Good.
See, we don't know in the moment.
Mm.
We don't, like, every breakthrough has potential. Like, the intensity depends on the deepness, the entangled.
Mm.
Mm, like a version for me is it just kind of a funk, a fog almost. And like dehydrated because it's a lot that's going on in the unseen.
A lot of
And
processing.
yeah, and it was the awareness was being asked to do something. It was like the charges that were always there didn't appear to be there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was like that just felt different. Mine, theirs, or both of ours.
Mm-hmm. And both of yours.
Mm. Like it, it, one thing that I've noticed about the silence is that when I don't want to get out of it, it's time to get out of it. Here in this group now. What I mean is that it can become like powerful to observe the silence. But we also transfer a lot more information quicker and easier through the words. So, like conducting and facilitating, like when to disrupt it. Is always a dance.
As you speak that, what I've noticed happening more and more with the group is that dance, and how often there'll be a period of silence that comes after somebody has spoken something, and it's either a completion before something new,
Mhm.
or it's a resonating of what's been spoken, and everybody is absorbing it and working with it in some way, which might be the same thing, but the energy feels slightly different. And that I've really appreciated.
Yeah, listen.
And the whole purpose is to get to a different starting point than where we start out there all the time.
Mm.
Like a default.
Mm-hmm.
Center, grounded and centered can become default.
That's right. I practiced enough. In a
And
world that is not silent,
yeah,
quiet.
and the mind can still do its thing, but the master, the witness observer, can still choose in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
When the precious awareness reveals.
Mm-hmm. Awareness and alignment are our superpowers, I believe.
So it's like we are pausing, going inward, like checking inside, which we call connecting to our heart. Knowing that's where the choices are at.
Mm-hmm. That's where the authenticity lies. And that's the most stable point that we have inside of ourselves. Hmm.
What I noticed too is we can be silent and basically not talk and practice that. But we can't make other people be silent, or cats or dogs or whatever, you know.
Mm.
But our practice, we can practice silence as an individual.
Mm.
Even when there's a lot of noise around, we can still practice it.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the key. That's the golden nugget, is being able to practice that in the midst of all the noise.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the power.
And not letting the cat's incessant howling to throw you off center, I guess, you know, or throw me off center.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I can still be calm and just centered and observe and listen and, you know, meet his needs if that's what he's asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just be with it. Be with him.
Mm. The difference between it's happening to me and I'm experiencing it.
Mm.
It, like I'm a victim, or no, I'm just observing. I'm aware.
Mm-hmm. Subtle but huge implications.
Yes.
Hey, you still hungry? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go feed him again. For the third or fourth time. I think he just wants me to be with him while he eats.
Mm.
I want to be alone, do you?
So on the heels of Will describing how he can be present in the outside and present with his own silence inside, I'd like to read 2 little paragraphs that describe the intention of meditation. To understand the universe, it is necessary that we must begin our journey to understand ourselves. The analysis of our life is just opposite to the analysis of outer objects. The outer construction is built outside. A building is built outside. But inner growth is from the inside. We take food in and then we grow outwardly. So first, we have to take in total universe. And then we begin to bring it outside. And gradually, this dualism of inner and outer universe is minimized. And we begin to experience the relaxation of inner and outer world, like the sun and the sun rays, like the body and its shadow. When they are correlated together, like the body and the shadow, like the sun and the sun rays, like your face and the image in the mirror, then there is a bliss and happiness.
And that was so good. Thank you, Allison.
Welcome.
And I'd love to have that recorded and like listen to that over again. Wait a sec. Very profound.
So simple, hey?
Yeah. The simple is profound.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the silence, we get to practice slowing down time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not really, but that's the experience of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, experiment this morning around awareness. In your life, how do you orientate to zero? So we just kind of let zero come in and we look at just how do we relate stories, what's just comes in to around zero. And what we ask is, can I have 0? Would I be okay in 0? And all you're doing is just looking for what wobbles are there for you.
Guess it depends on our definitions around the concept of 0.
Yes, that's all it depends on.
Zero.
They,
If it was 0 charge, man, that would be awesome. Like 0 point, like neutral.
that is what it is.
Uh,
So what we're looking at is the resistance to the neutral.
mm, cool.
Now, the last few days we've used 5, right, as the neutral point, and that was on a 0 to 10 scale. But if we go from -5 to +5,
0 is
now
neutral.
that's right. Now the question is does my unconscious okay with 0? Likely not in our culture.
Well, yeah, because we're addicted to drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's on TV every day. And it shows up in people's attitudes and behaviors, which is the opposite of neutral.
As soon as you jump on a call, right at the scheduled time, it starts. And is it silence that starts?
Mm.
Do we start like by collecting into our heart around the intention? And just wait for the last 5 minutes of our meeting, because that's where all of it comes out, where all the creation happens anyway.
Mm.
Not really, but like if we meaning if it's like 2 hours, it's like the nuggets come out at the end, usually.
Mm. It's the pulling together of everything.
Mm-hmm. It's that's there. We don't think there's much in the scatter, but it's all in the scatter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's what we take from this moment into the next moment. And if that is our intention, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. The gathering is a preparation for the scattering. And then we gather in our day and we bring that back into the new gathering in the morning.
Yeah.
We got some really good feedback from our cat this morning, Noah, and every day. So being with the silence here has helped me to center and calm and ground. And I listen to him, ask him, what do you want? And he's usually hungry. And so I feed him And a lot of time I think that he's hungry, so I feed him more and feed him more and feed him more. This morning, what I realize is he's trying to tell me that you need to calm down, you need to ground, you need to center, and you need to go into the silence and release that charge because I can feel it. And now that I've kind of centered, I've petted him. I haven't fed him as much as normally I would because I mistake his noise for like, feed me, I'm hungry. When it's really, I can feel your vibration and it's upsetting. It's disturbing. Please just calm down and relax with me. And so now I'm sitting on the floor with him and he's just sitting quietly and relaxed and calm. He's in my field. Oh, and there he goes. Now that I'm talking. But, you know, I can see what he's trying to tell me now. And it was just like, relax, relax. I can feel your energy. Just relax. So it's a good lesson that we can have from our pets and those around us.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to just sit quietly.
I was also thinking, Will, that you got a different message because you were open to it.
Yes, absolutely. Whereas other days, you know, wake up like thinking about the day and kind of stressing out about it and then being a little agitated. You know, Noah can feel that. So he's trying to tell me, hey, you know, it's okay. You don't need to be like that. You can relax. It's okay. So I'm open to hearing the message a little more clearly now from him. And he's quieter now. Whereas normally he's quite loud and vocal. So this meditation thing really does help.
Mm-hmm.
Even, well, it does, it won't if people don't think it does.
Mm.
And that's fine, right?
Okay.
They're free to imagine it however they want.
Yes. It's their choice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, point is here, a door is here, open it if you want.
It's available
To everyone. But
and
then that, go ahead, Will.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a beautiful gift behind the door if you choose to open it.
Yeah, you'll find what you're looking for, but it won't be how you were looking for it.
It may not be what you thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Rarely is it worse. And so you can see that our expectations, like, well, we anticipate things to go a certain way, and that just makes us comfortable. Where the side, like we jump on a call, we all expect conversations to happen. So when conversations don't happen and you're forced to the silence, that is scary.
For some, yeah. unless you're someone who's practiced and you see the value
That's right.
from the experience of it, because it's really a gift that you give yourself and you can give others. It's not the norm in our cultures. In some cultures, it may be a little more normal, but not in ours.
And it's like, what is the best thing we could give someone else? A judge-free zone.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm sure someone would say, oh, you can't talk to your cat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, someone who maybe doesn't have that experience themselves.
That's all it is.
Yep.
So in that, what they do is they cut off their possibility and could even cut yours off.
Yeah, yeah.
At that moment, yes.
Beautiful thing about talking to animals is you don't have to talk to them with words. You can actually, if you're in the right state of listening, you can just hear it in your heart and you can communicate with your heart. And that's how they communicate.
Mm.
That's how we do too. It's just a language that we forgot.
Mm.
Isn't that interesting? It just came out.
Mm.
Language of the heart. Heart-centered creators, eh? Speaking from the heart, but not in words, in ways of being. My heart says, be still.
Mm.
I love the conversation. I would like to add something to the many of the indigenous tribes around the world. They knew how to take care of children. They never shouted them or beat them. Or, it's like they knew that they were preventing um, the child from having wounds for the rest of his life. Like in our culture, it is everybody have wounds because we have been experiencing. We've been violated. Our heart has been taken by force or something like that. Mm. Yeah, because children are they're innocent. And most culture nowadays they're taking this innocence away from the child very early. They were treating the child more like a whole being. Body, mind, and spirit.
I wonder if that's because we used to live in so much more collaboration with nature than what we do now.
Yeah. Yes. The church had done so much damage to separate us from each other, from nature.
And just
What they
also,
did. Yeah.
I think also it's just the way that the industrial world has shaped our societies.
Cut off the feelings.
Mm.
more or less. Being more mechanical. In order to function in this. But yeah, it's done so much damage to us, you know, as a species.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry for taking in totally different direction.
No,
But we have the
it's a very relevant connection for me to the silence. Because when you think about it in nature, there's so much of that in terms of growth cycles with plants.
Yes.
Think about how long it takes a tree to grow.
Mm.
And then when it's there, just how magnificent it is.
Mm. Yeah. The wonder of nature.
Mm. Mm. And the mystery of it,
Mm.
you know, at the same time, and that you engage with it because your life depends upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you learn to cooperate with it.
Yes.
And there's an authenticity in it, right?
Yes.
And a stability, even though things can
Yeah.
also,
Exactly.
it's funny because there's a stability in it, and yet it's never still. It's ever changing.
It's like there's some kind of mutual respect within nature.
Mm.
It's all within a circle. It's,
Mm-hmm.
so when we look at wound, we have to look at whether it's physical, mental, a different way to approach it. It's not all the same. You know, it's just, we're all different. You know. It's difficult to make another one see how we see the world, depending on our wound, how we carry it.
I always feel like true wisdom comes from knowing the laws of nature.
Mm. Yeah, like for example, my ex-wife, you know, I didn't see her wounds as a wound, more as a strength. But for her, it's unbearable, unbearable to talk about, to look at.
Mm-hmm. And you saw it as a strength.
Yeah,
because she had survived it.
And out of that, you know, she is good at so many things.
Mm.
You know, if she didn't have those um, challenges, you know, she wouldn't explore, you know, out of that.
We grow from our challenges.
Mhm. Or we avoid them.
Yeah.
Eh,
Not look within.
Yeah, it's if we think of the structure like avoiding it, right? We're going to avoid it, thinking that that will resolve it. Avoiding is an unresolvable loop.
Yes.
It will, like it'll continue to be there.
Yes.
And the ability is to look at it, like to go into it. And what we don't realize is that we made it up to be painful. We made it up to be this so that we avoid it. It's like when we see we made it all up, there's a freedom in it to say, well, there really can't be anything that bad on the other side of this. Easier said than done.
Yes.
You know, it's like the scientists, right? There's some scientists that are looking at the like origin of life, like trying to answer the question, where did it come from? And same thing, it's like, oh, where did that wound come from? Like, oh, we're gonna go find out. Like, if we find where it came from, then what are we gonna do with it?
Yeah.
So, like, if scientists studied life, right? We're looking at all the things that make life.
Yeah.
And it's like, so like, look, that's a life. It's not a study, it's another human being. Like, let's work with that rather than working to find the answer.
Yes. Look at the wound. Because we can't just leave it, it will get infected and then affect the rest of the system. Affect,
it will continue to pollute.
Yeah.
Until we flush it out.
Yes.
And the only way to flush it out is to look at it.
Yep.
Go into it. And that's why I used 0 this morning. It's like I used 0 because in the scheme of the world, in the scheme of our life, there's not much that it's not a category that has much charge to it. So it's safe to go into. Right? So it gives us the idea to start playing around with, oh, what resistance do I have about 0? Really, it's just scratching the surface of our scarcity.
That's what I've experienced.
It's like, oh, it was like as I played with it, right? It's like, oh, I can't have 0. I can't allow myself 0. I can't allow nothing, right? So the point is to, like, in the 0 was 1. It's like, oh, what's the first thing you make up behind it, because that is your dominant definition.
Yes. Wow. I love how you explained it, Jesse. Yeah. It gives me, yeah, so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that dominant definition directs the focus. So our definition shines the spotlight on what it is.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then our tendency is to mask what it is, to flavor it another way, to change it, to avoid it, to do other things with it. But it's all in relation to the definition.
Yeah.
And so we're so afraid of seeing our definition and then changing it.
Mm. Because our definition goes along with the feeling usually, right?
I didn't quite catch that. Oh.
Our definition often goes along with a feeling.
Always, I think. Even if there's not a definition to it, like the analogy I use is, even if someone's speaking in a foreign language to you, you can get the gist.
Yes.
So the feeling is always there.
So is it the definition or the feeling that's getting avoided?
I think it's the feeling. But the feeling is the result of the definition.
Or the definition is a result of the feeling.
Yeah, in chicken and the egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to it, like, how about the will,
Uh-huh.
It can take us into so many different directions too, the will. Where you place the will. Whether you place the will in the center of your ego or the center of your heart.
Good observation, too. Is that not also part of our definition, though, too? It's pretty difficult sometimes to draw the distinction, right?
Mm-hmm. The will is the ego, right? Or how would you guys put it?
Could be, but it could also be the heart.
Mm. Yeah.
The impetus, right? The impetus comes either from the ego or the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think, to me, the will seems more like the urge.
So the urge follows the impetus, comes after.
The point is, when do we notice it, though? That's what I'm like wrestling with.
Yes. Yeah. Because it's a key for us, right?
That's right.
When we notice it, we can work with it instead of it
Working us.
exactly. Yeah.
That's the biggest difference with it. It's
Yeah.
it's like, are we directing it, or is it directing us? And people that feel like they are directing their lives say, I'm already doing that, yet I'm frustrated and meaningless, and I can't find what I'm looking for in this world, yet I'm doing all that the world has told me to do.
And it tied up to how we feel inside, whether we feel fulfilled or we feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so.
Satisfied, dissatisfied, it's all in the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think there's anything other than that. It's like, for us just to be with the feelings we have is being aware.
A lot of people walk around, feel empty inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's and much more, and the reason is it's unresolvable structures. We're going for something that isn't possible.
Thank you. Yes.
Which when we're doing anything for out there, like that's it's an unresolvable.
Yes.
Because some out there will love you and support you and want more, and others will judge you and hate you.
Yep.
Like, it never resolves the way you want it. And that's where the authenticity, and it's like, no, I'm doing what I do for me. And it's like, that's the only way place fulfillment can come from, is from in here to out there.
Yes.
That's the only resolvable structure there is. I wouldn't have listened to it. I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have told you you're full of shit, as I kept doing what the world told me I should do.
Giving the power away. Eh?
Yeah. And, even my parents, is like, give power away to God. Give the power to God. And it's like, that's still out there.
I like what Dalai Lama, he said in here, that his religion is kindness.
Yeah.
My experience is it's actually in here.
It is. And
it's that connection.
What you see is that people view themselves separate from God, because as soon as you go to someone like my parents, right? I go to them and I said, well, are you God? Like, are you part of God? And it's like, oh no, he's much bigger, much better than I ever could be, right? You just see the separation.
Yeah.
It's like,
we're connected.
So you don't even, then how does he speak to you? Like, how is he inside of you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he speaks to, it's like, do you see how confusing this is? For a child that knows what's true and yet being told all this other stuff? From the quote, people that know it? AKA our parents, because as a child, we grant them as the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
So like the fact, like it comes down to, so a child believes their parents are the smartest people in the world. From the child's perspective, is that true?
Yeah.
Until they see something else. You see how confusing that is? I think it's confusing anyway.
Very confusing.
Like it's passed on, that confusion, to the next gen.
Yeah, listen to your parents, right?
Yeah. Listen to the confusion. But they got it all figured out. Oh, really? Who does, eh?
Yep.
I would say God does, but it's our connection to that, to however you want to frame it. It's our connection to God that allows us that connection, that knowingness, that understanding. But when you're disconnected, it's like you can't really grasp it. You need that connection.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And it's not found by looking out there. Yes, there's information that can support your journey, but really it's a personal connection, an inner connection that each person can have, could have, does have, or maybe shies away from, or doesn't have, or denies even. That's just my experience. Without going into God. That loaded conversation.
Yeah.
Mm. It is a loaded conversation.
Yeah. And that's why I like speaking in generalities, because it's easier to understand when we maybe aren't quite as specific, because everyone has their own beliefs and I want to respect that, right? So yeah, we can speak in language that we each understand and still grasp the concepts together, which is, to me, is more united and peaceful, and it's more inclusive, and it's not judging other people's beliefs, because that's just not called for. I don't agree with that. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
And all we want is for those things out there to not trigger us the way they have in the past. And when things that so if we don't want them to keep hanging around, like baggage build up, like trash building up, because this is like trash builds up if we don't address it. And that's part of the processing, right? When we address it, we go through it. Yes, big wobbles can happen even through the processing. Because this energy that was holding on to the distinctions in all the emotions, you went through it, so then it's releasing it. So we're releasing all this pent-up charge through our whole body. Wherever we stored it, wherever we stored that trash, we're cleaning it out. that's helping with the dis-ease. And so like this zero is the I don't know. It's like, oof, I don't know what zero is, but everything that I'd held on to that, was that couldn't be zero, it's like, oh, just there's zero.
Yeah, thank you for bringing the zero today. Wow, man, mind-boggling, and then yeah, it makes sense. Thank you so much.
And if we see our life through the lens of scarcity, we will just fight for our scarcity.
Exactly. I remember a release point for myself in terms of scarcity, Jesse, was when I realized that life itself is much larger than the world. So much larger. It was like a barrier that I broke through in my experience and then my perception. And yet I still have to practice that. It's my main practice, I think.
Yeah, because we break through a level, another level appears.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just because if you've got a bag of trash and you've got bags of trash you've accumulated, just because you take one bag out doesn't mean they all go.
Yeah. And as you live, you collect more bags.
That's right. And so the point is to be able to release the bags rather than holding on to them.
Yes.
These are my bags, and I identify with these bags. So I'm just going to hold on to them. That's sometimes what we do, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm kind of joking about it, that is what a lot of us tend to do. It's takes courage sometimes to release them,
Mm-hmm.
especially when they're deep, dark things we've been holding on to for decades.
Avoiding our whole life. Yeah, you bet your ass. It appears scary as hell.
Yeah, because all that momentum from that time of holding on to them, I can't let that go. That's who I am. No, you might think so, but it's not true.
Yeah.
What's telling you that that's who you are, you know?
Mm.
These are conversations that people seldom have. I'm grateful for this space to have these kinds of conversations. These, to me, these are meaningful conversations.
Mm.
And that's what I'm here for, is to experience meaning and fulfillment.
Mm.
And to serve.
I think we do serve in that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, when we are in that space of meaning and fulfillment, we're serving others and showing, look what's possible. You can have that too,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you choose. Like, look what's possible. Just opening the possibility, you know.
Mm.
I spent thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands to learn that from other people, that, oh, well, if they can have it, I guess I can have it too.
Mm.
That'll be $5,000.
Mhm.
I love that joke.
Yeah.
I choose it to be a great day today, no matter what. That's what I choose today. And my word of the day is calm. I'm gonna practice calm.
Mm.
So I see the value in it. The wind is howling outside, and get to go to work today and that, and get to be calm through the storm.
Mm.
And yeah, it'll be cold, it'll be windy, it'll be uncomfortable, but I get to be calm. Oh, here comes Noah again.
My word for the day is going to be momentum.
It's a good choice, Allison.
Mm.
What does that mean for you?
Not being stuck. And welcoming.
Mm.
And open.
My words would be in here.
In gear?
In here.
Oh, in here. Okay.
Thank you.
Where are you?
In here.
Yeah. Where am I? Yes, I'm in here.
Yeah, we're either in here or out there.
Hmm. Are we all in here?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question. Because we are beings, not to be or not to be. We are being. The
Always.
question is, where? Who are we being? Where are we being? What am I being?
Mhm.
It's a more powerful question.
Mhm. Where of our being?
Mm.
Beautiful.
Well,
Where? It takes a calmness to be in here and to realize that momentum that propels you into greater states of awareness.
Mm.
In here.
well, thank you all. Been a great morning.
Yes.
Time
Yes.
to
Thank you.
scatter.
Thank you all for the space this morning. That was beautiful.
Love and hugs.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Have an awesome day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.